through 3 quarters and kept it up with a 32-point night. 9 assists along the way. Booker actually finished with 27, and a monster night from DeAndre Ayton with 22 points and 19 rebounds, historic in fact, as Phoenix wins it 118 to 105. Welcome in, it's Game Time Live at the Finals, presented by YouTube TV. We got our friends behind us, we got champions here on the set, Steve Smith, Isaiah Thomas, and joining us remotely, Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. I'll turn to the fellas who are in the arena along with us. First of all, so great to be here and to have this atmosphere again for the finals. What struck you about Game 1 here, Smitty?
Well, it started off, Isaiah. When you looked at it, Devin Booker set the tone for me in the first quarter, getting a chance to get in rhythm. But in that third quarter, I still can't understand how they going to quit switching 1-5 pick and roll, and Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and the entire Suns team got whatever they wanted in that third quarter with that 1-5 switching the pick and rolls of the Milwaukee Bucks. Adjustments, not for the Milwaukee Bucks.
I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's the thing that stood out to me the most. Chris Paul in the third quarter.
Bucks went a little smaller at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and that's something to watch for as this series progresses. Shaq, for you, watching at home, what's your takeaway from Game 1?
Well, I thought, Phoenix played well. I thought the others played great. DeAndre Ayton, as a big man, great start in his first finals. I'm really proud of him. It's nice, and Isaiah and Steve and Kenny knows about this. It's nice when you can have a 1-2 punch. First half was all Devin Booker, and then that third quarter, Chris Paul said, you know what, this is my first finals. I'm going to work. I know what I got to do. But the others played great. The dancer played great. He played with great energy. They fed off the energy off the crowd, and they did what they're supposed to do. As for Milwaukee, if they're going to win, the 1-2 punch for Milwaukee has to be remarkable. In the pregame we talked about, the two meetings between Milwaukee and Phoenix. How Giannis averaged 40. He's gonna have to probably average around that, to get a win.
Kenny, to you, what'd you see here in Game 1 tonight?
Well, I'm probably gonna reiterate what Steve and Isaiah said. First of all, you think about this. If Chris Paul was guarding Lopez in the post, would they come double? You'd be like, yeah, they come double him. So why, when Lopez is guarding Chris Paul on the perimeter, that you allow him to play one-on-one? It's like it looks like the silliest thing that you've ever seen. If you're a point guard at any magnitude who can score the basketball, you go, this is exactly what I want. If you're a post guy, you go, this is what I want. So I don't understand it. It looks very similar to Atlanta Game 1 when they had the drop defense, and that didn't work against Trae Young. They're going to have to make the adjustment, either go small or you're going to have to double the pick and roll or hedge and get over. You cannot allow – you would never let Brook Lopez play one-on-one in the post against Chris Paul. No team would do that. So why would you do it in reverse? That's the logic if you're a fan at home. That's how simple it is.
Yeah, it was baffling for those of us watching it take place because of how long it went on for the Bucks with this defensive switching and putting Lopez and then Portis out on that island repeatedly.
Isaiah, Matt, Kenny, and Shaq, I understand if the guy couldn't get over, he got hung up on the pick. But it was almost an automatic switch. It was easy. Yeah. If you're going to come out, you got to at least try to get over, like Kenny said. Also, for me, is fight as the team. I'm going to make an adjustment if the coach is not going to make an adjustment. We're going to do something differently because it was just too easy. It looks like they was playing practice run through the offense against the Milwaukee Bucks defense.
So I do have a question if I could ask.
Yeah, please.
Isaiah, if you played in this modern day era and you could just pick out the defender and say, that's the guy I want to guard me because they're going to switch. How many? Now, you almost did you lead the league in scoring one year or come close to it? I don't remember. You and Kelly Chapuka. But how many points in game would you average? Because you're very similar in size and stature. In a season, if you could pick out every single time which guy to guard.
I mean, easy 40, especially if they're going to let me shoot the basketball as often as the point guard gets to shoot it. Really easy 40 because now I'm shooting layups and I'm getting any shot that I want against a big man. I mean, it really is unfair to have a big man guard a small man out on the perimeter, and because all you're going to do is take him to the basket. And like I say, Chris Paul got a chance to live his dream tonight by having bigs and power forwards out him on guarding him out on the perimeter.
Well, we'll get into that a little deeper as we continue on. Right now, let's welcome in Mikal Bridges, fresh off his very first NBA Finals game and a win nonetheless. He had 14 tonight, knocked down a couple of threes as well. Mikal, thanks for being with us. You, like everybody else on the floor, aside from Jay Crowder, was experiencing this for the very first time. Yep. What's your takeaway from your first finals taste?
It's amazing. You know, you want to play at this level as a kid, and you finally get your opportunity to be here. So I'm just grateful I'm here, and try to take advantage as I can and try to help my team win.
Mikal Bridges, Steve Smith, congratulations on your first finals. Obviously, talk to me about you knocking down shots. It looked like you didn't hesitate on none of your jump shots tonight.
Yeah, just being aggressive. I know, just in the playoffs, I wasn't feeling like fully myself sometimes, and just me being passive aggressive, and my teammates and my coaches just talking to me, helping me, just telling me, be aggressive, be you. And that's what I was doing, just trying to stay locked in and be ready to shoot and drive.
You have Chipotle tonight?
What time is it? It's going to be, I didn't have it today, but it's probably close, so I'll have it tomorrow.
All right.
But this is Isaiah, and I just want to say, hey, congratulations on your first outing and the win. And just talk to me about your preparation in terms of your defensive schemes and your offensive schemes that you tried to implement tonight, and how effective were they?
For defense first, just knowing the matchups starting off on Middleton and knowing, it's not one-on-one, but, just locking in and knowing his tendencies, watching film when I guard him and things like that. So just trying to lock in. I know I got my teammates behind me for the help, so trying to just play my ways and, make it tough for them. And offensively, just, CP and Book, they're the guys, and I'm just, whenever they need me, I'm just going to be there to try to get them assists and some easy ones.
Mikal, congratulations. I know you played some big games at Villanova, but none as big as the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. My question, because the first time I was there, I don't know because of COVID if it's different, after practice and having every single media person either talk to you or try to talk to you, was that overwhelming on your first time seeing it?
No, not really. I think the championships we had, them Final Fours, them things, they're crazy. You go in there on a practice day and you're talking to media for about longer than you are on the court. So I think I'm used to that with the media-wise, and knowing the right things to say, coming from Coach Wright, we practice things like that. So
okay, big time. My bad.
So we train for the media, man. We train for media back in Nova. So that was the easy part. The hardest part is coming out here and playing against this Milwaukee team and trying to beat them and stop them every time and try to get a win.
Mikal, Shaq here. Great poise tonight. You shot the ball well. My question is not about you. My question is about your teammate Andre Ayton. I know this is his first time here. He's playing like a veteran. Who's getting in his ear telling him what to do, how to play, because he's been dominant all playoff series long?
Yeah, honestly, he flipped it. I don't know what he did, I don't know, but that first playoff series, he just turned to a whole different player that I'd never seen, or I have seen, but not all the time. And he started off strong, and he just keep going and taking the matchups with the next series against Jokic and stuff. So he's just, I don't know who talked to him, but we stay on him. But I know I ain't say nothing to him for that Lakers series and how he was dominating. So kudos to him, just straight him.
Hey, Chris Paul did not have a great start to his first NBA Finals, but he got it going again in the third quarter with 16 of his, 32 on the night when he got all those switches. What did it mean?
Hey, Mike. Well, I guess we'll just start. Obviously, Giannis moves from doubtful to questionable to starting. So what did you see pregame to make that decision? And then obviously, it looked like early he wanted to establish himself and to kind of prove he was good to go.
Yeah, I mean, he had a good workout before the game. I think you got to listen to Giannis first. He felt good, the sports performance group. He'd been checking boxes the last, couple days and making progress. And, he was cleared and he wanted to go, and everybody was on the same page. So, it's just a credit to him. And, we talked just the work he puts in, the work the sports performance group puts in, for him to be back playing in game one. He's just, it's really impressive what he did.
Go to Eric. Go ahead, please.
Obviously, you guys had started the game switching and then did it again in the third quarter. It really felt like Chris kind of got into a rhythm in the third quarter again. How'd that look, and then maybe what did you not like about it as much in the third?
You're talking about Paul? There's two Chris's in this series side. He's a good player. Their pick and roll game is tough to guard. So I think we just got to keep getting better. We'll look at the film, see how we can maybe take away some of the rhythm, to just take it where, or make it where he's not getting to his spots as easily. That'll be a big part of looking between game one and game two.
Next question will go to Jeff, the third row. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, I know you said it was impressive that Giannis came back and was able to play. How would you assess his performance? What did you see from him that you liked? And, how much did you notice that, he was coming off an injury?
Yeah, I thought there were a lot of good things. I mean, I think, considering, 5 days and, what he's been through these last 5, 6, 7 days, I think, 17 rebounds, 20 points, some great playmaking, passing, defending the rim. He's just like everybody else. I'm sure we'll find some things where he could be better. And, I think, usually it takes him playing. He's a rhythm guy. I'm excited about, how he'll improve from game one to game two. We'll see how he feels. But I think play-wise, he always gets better when he plays.
Go ahead, Eric.
I guess speaking of that, did he have a number that he could get to tonight? Like you could only play however many minutes or anything like that. And then also you guys used him at the 5 late. Was that something that you were a little bit worried about with his condition and him getting back for the first game?
Yeah, I mean, so we mapped him out, a plan like we really do pretty much every game, but, considering, his situation. And then there's just feedback during the game. If we can adjust and what we can do and how he's feeling. So I think, him playing 35 plus minutes, everybody was kind of communicating and getting to that point. And then, him playing at the 5 has been something that's been good for us in stretches. And, so we'll look at it. We'll look and see, hopefully how we can get our best combos out there. And each night sometimes it changes.
Malika, go ahead, please.
But Drew Holiday had said that when Giannis doesn't play, he feels the need to step up and be aggressive specifically to make up for that. How did you see him sort of kind of trying to find his way a little bit tonight? Where do you think he can find it a little bit better moving forward?
Yeah, it's always a balance for Drew, not just, Giannis. He likes to set his teammates up. He likes to get everybody involved. And, so I think, it's partly on me. I got to, make sure he's getting in situations and spots where he can be aggressive. And, I think he'll be better going into the second game.
Mark, go ahead, please.
Coach, what advice do you have?
Mike Budenholzer there addressing the question about Giannis Antetokounmpo and how much he could play tonight and how he was deployed tonight. Shaq, he only got 11 shots in this game. Bucks actually won the minutes with Giannis on the floor tonight by a single point. Well, what did you think of the way he played and the way the Bucks used him?
He played pretty good, but this is the final. Steve, Isaiah, and Kenny knows you have to take it to that next level. You have to be great. You have to be exceptional. 11 shots for Giannis Antetokounmpo is a no-no. He needs to take 20, 25 shots. And yes, Drew is trying to take care of his teammates, but you can pick and choose. He's an other, but he's a special other. When Giannis is not in the game, he needs to be aggressive, like he was in Game 5 and Game 6 in the Atlanta series. Charles Barkley said this a couple weeks ago. Milwaukee has a bunch of nice guys. Sometimes your guys just have to say, you know what, forget that. We're at the finals. We're here. This is what I need to do. Giannis is our guy. He's not 100%, but if Giannis is going to take 11 shots, look, Chris Middleton always going to get his shots up, but if Giannis is going to take his, only 11 shots, the next man, who is Drew Holiday, has to step up and be more aggressive. It's not his fault that they lost. He's a true point guard. He's supposed to get his guys involved first, and that's what he's been doing all year. But this is the finals. You have to step up. You have to rise to the occasion. And sometimes you have to say, forget that. I'm going for mine. When we lost to Kenny's in 94, 95, I'm sure he wasn't saying to himself, hey, I'm going to take 7 threes versus the Orlando Magic. But we had to double Akeem Olajuwon. Akeem did the right thing, kick it out to one of the best shooters in the league, and he set a finals record. I think he hit 7 threes. So you have to be ready. You have to be aggressive, and you can't play good or pretty good. You have to be exceptional.
Holiday did have 9 assists, but really struggled from the field for most of the night. Zeke, 4 of 14. Giannis was the big story pregame. Now that Game 1 is over, what did you think of his performance and the way he was used?
I thought he was used, correctly in terms of what he was capable of doing. He hadn't played in 3 games. So coming back, I thought he set the tone. He inspired his team. He gave them everything that they needed at that point in time. Now, Milwaukee has an equal opportunity offense. That means where everybody gets a chance to shoot it whenever they feel like shooting it. But, in championship play, we just saw the great Shaquille O'Neal, talking to him. You have to be able to point the ball and get it to the person that you wanted to at the exact time that you wanted to get it to him. And there's got to be some type of offensive scheme that allows you to point that ball and direct that ball to the person that you want to get it to every single time. We saw Phoenix was able to do it.
Yeah.
Milwaukee wasn't able to really point the ball to Giannis and get it to him in the right positions where he can be effective or either draw and kick.
They got better shots out of timeouts tonight. It felt like in the half-court offense it got stagnant again, which we've seen from Milwaukee over the course of these playoffs. Lots more coming here. We'll hear from more of the stars of this Game 1. Monty Williams will come to the microphone as well. Devin Booker, good start to his finals career, and the Suns are up 1-0. We're back from Phoenix after this. LeBron James taking note. 1 down, 3 to go. That's math. That's the way the finals work. Banana boat forever.
You're watching Game Time at the Finals.
Let's get to Monty Williams after the win.
11 points in the first half for Chris. He really got it rolling in the third quarter. Is there anything, the way he plays, that is a sign to you that, okay, he's about to go into his bag? He has a run coming.
I can't answer that one with, there's no marker for me. There's just, when it's going like that, you just want to space the floor well and let him orchestrate. I thought he was making the right plays. They were switching a ton, and we have to offer that space and play faster if he gets off of the ball. But he was making shots, and when he's in that mode, we just feed off of that. But I don't have a marker or a segment in the game where I'm like, here he goes. It just happens, and our guys feed off of those moments in the game.
Right in front, Dwayne.
Yeah, Coach, you talked about getting easy ones, and obviously the Bucks play sound half-court D. You think you guys got 20 fast break points.
Yeah.
What was the key to that tonight, you think?
Getting stops and DA rebounding the ball. I mean, he had 17 defensive boards, and that allows for us to get out and run. And I thought our guys were intentional about making plays for someone else, even if you didn't get the ball by running the floor. The floor was spaced, and so we were able to attack the paint or play hit ahead. They're a good defensive team, so anytime you can get easy buckets, it really helps you.
Ramona in the middle.
Hi, Monty. Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. You've had Chris early in his career, now towards the end of his career here. And then I remember the first round you kept saying he has a look, like you guys have looks and you read him. I'm just wondering, how he's changed and evolved? Like, if his looks now, have they changed from when he was back in New Orleans at the beginning of his career and just sort of his own career evolution?
I'm not. Back then, I was probably more forceful with calling plays. Now, he'll read the game, I'll watch him, he'll turn to me, and I'll be like, you call it. Or he'll be like, Coach, give me something. And then I'll be like, well, do this, that kind of thing, as opposed to me trying to run the whole deal. We always talk about the package of plays that we want to run in certain segments of the game. So we'll have 2 or 3 plays, and he'll stay in that environment for a bit. But ever so often, he'll look over to me, and he'll squint, and I'll know he's wanting to play, and then I'll call it. Before, it was just me like, run this, run this, run this. Now, I try my best to stay out of his way because I know what he's seeing. And usually when he calls a play that I didn't give him, it's a play I wanted to run anyway. So I think that's the relationship that we've built over, being together twice and being in this situation with him. I think there's a trust there, and I think that helps.
So just to be clear, is it squint? The look is a squint?
It might be. They make fun of me because I squint with my glasses on. But he squints also. And so when he looks over and squints, I know he's wanting to play. And I try to give him something that takes advantage of the guys we have on the floor. Mm-hmm.
Back right. Monty over here. You mentioned that the Bucks were switching a lot. They were switching a lot even in the first half with Brook Lopez on the floor. Were you expecting them to play that way defensively as much as they did? And did you have a specific plan to attack that?
We didn't know. I mean, they did a number of things versus Atlanta. But in their last game, they did switch a lot more. So they're the kind of team that you have to prepare for both. And so we didn't know. We just were waiting to see what it was. And we just tried to, space the floor as best we can off of the switches.
Palmer for a couple on Zoom.
First, we'll go to Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Mark Schwartz.
Hey, Coach, what did you make of Cam Johnson's performance tonight?
I thought he was great. His ability to space the floor and shoot the ball is what you tend to think about with Cam, but I thought his defense was really good tonight. He's a big, strong defender, and he has the ability to move his feet and keep guys in front. At 6'9", to move his feet like that, there's times when Giannis is coming at you full speed. There's really no answer for that except to, take the hit and try to keep him from getting to the basket. I thought he had some really good possessions tonight on that side of the ball. And then his ability to score, space the floor, attack the basket. He's just a really good player.
Next is Mark.
What can be applied to Game 2 from tonight's Game 1 in terms of tweaks for strategy that Milwaukee can use?
Well, if I was a layman and I was watching the game, it looks like I would compare it to getting dressed as you were leaving the house. That's what the Milwaukee Bucks look like. You could get it done, but it's not going to look great. You're not going to be neat. You're not going to have everything in order. They were running out the house getting dressed with Giannis coming back. They didn't have a cohesive look on the defensive end, didn't change things up. Offensively, they looked at times haphazardly. The tie was crooked, Zeke. Hey, Smitty, the handkerchief wasn't right. It was all there, but it didn't look good.
Hey, Kenny, you asked me what would I average, and I said 35. That's what I would
40.
average. Now, if I got hot, then it's an easy 50.
Kenny, we've been great friends for a long time, but that analogy just made me sick to my stomach. I got to get me some tongue.
There it is. There it is.
Man, the Bills was getting dressed running out the house, man. You can get it done, but you ain't going to look good.
Product placement number 1 here on the postgame show. Mike Budenholzer is going to be asked and scrutinized about the switching a lot. Is it as simple as playing small moving forward or playing big differently with Lopez or Portis, whoever it might be?
It's adjustments. Also listen to your players, what they want to do sometimes. Obviously, you see things, but obviously you have some players in Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Brook Lopez and Giannis. These are some veterans. Go ask them what they think is best. Do they want to switch? Do they want to trap? Do they want to hedge? And obviously come out there and make some adjustments. And even if that don't work, you don't just continuously give them the same look in that third quarter if they're knocking down shots. You have to be able to adjust on the fly.
Hey, Smitty, I would have Akeem, I would have smacked me in the locker room. He would have I would have had to fight him.
Yes.
If I left him on the island like that, and he had to guard a guy, he would have been. We'd have been fighting. Or Otis Thorpe. I can only imagine Bill Laimbeer and those guys, Rodman and those guys. They would.
Hey,
I think you'd fight. They want to fight you.
That would be in the locker room, but during the game, during the game, right? And then they would have went to Chuck, and they'd have made Chuck change up that defensive assignment. I mean, and Smitty, you talked about guard play, and I'll just say this: the guards in the NBA right now, particularly the point guards that we're talking about, the Trae Youngs, the Kyrie Irvings, the Chris Pauls, you cannot let them play in the middle of the floor against a center, against a big, for a length of time of the game. I mean, that's a point guard's dream. We want to stay in the middle of the floor, and if we can dominate and stay in the middle of the floor, then we're just going to eat your lunch.
Yeah, the Suns really thrived, obviously, picking on Lopez and Portis. Lopez had the worst plus-minus of any Buck out on the floor, and I don't know that you can pin all that on him. It's the way they were covering the Suns tonight, and obviously an adjustment will have to be made on the Buck side. Let's get it back downstairs, and it's Drew Holiday at the microphone with the Bucks down 0-1.
You guys were switching throughout the game. In the third quarter, it felt like Chris Paul really started to take advantage of it. What did you see in that third quarter? And then for you, as the game went on, it looked like you were getting a little bit more aggressive, more physical, something you've done in previous series. So just kind of what was your mindset defensively as the game progressed?
Really just saw him being aggressive. So at that point, I felt like I wanted to just annoy him, kind of get him off rhythm, be able to either make him pass the ball or take tough shots, tough too. So, that's something that we're going to have to make an adjustment to in game two. First half, they got a lot of fouls. They went to the free throw line a lot. We got to do better with that. D-Book got to the free throw line. Great free throw shooting team. And then second half did better, but just think Chris Paul got a little bit too comfortable.
Go ahead, Jim.
Hey, Drew. Going even back to the Brooklyn series where you guys talk about making it tough, but sometimes you guys just make shots. Was that the case tonight at times with, like, Brook being switched over on Chris, for instance? I mean, I don't know what else Brook can do in those instances. So did you see it that way, or, Chris just making good shots and Brook playing good defense, or how did you kind of see them hunting the bigs kind of out there?
Yeah, I think Brook played defense pretty well. But that's what CP does. Those mid-range twos, those 15-footers, sidesteps, sidestep to the right, he makes those. So maybe just do something else. Make him put it in his left hand. Make him drive to the basket. Give him maybe a different look and do something different next time.
Malika?
Drew, we talked about when Giannis was off the floor, you wanting to sort of make up some of that offensive aggression. Do you find it when he's coming back that you're sort of recalibrating what it's like to play with him, or does that snap into place more quickly?
I think I had a bad shooting night. I had a lot of opportunities to make layups and shots, and they weren't falling. Again, I think I do a little bit more than scoring, just getting people plays and threes and driving to the basket. But me personally, I didn't shoot well tonight.
Go ahead, Mark.
Mark Spears, ESPN's Undefeated. Can you talk about what you thought about Giannis's game overall, and then also, how tough do you think it is for him to be at the free throw line with the whole crowd trying to rattle you like that?
I think Giannis played well. I feel like when you sit out 3 or 4 games, it's maybe a little tough to come to the first game of the finals and really put on that show like he would. But I think he played well. He looked well. His body looked well. And the free throw line, you really got to ask him. You got to ask him. He shoots the ball pretty well from the free throw line, so I'm not complaining.
Yeah. Hey, Drew, you've worked really hard to get to the stage. What was your first finals experience like? What did you think? Did it feel different, I guess, to other games you've played in your career? Were there different type of nerves in the pregame, any of that stuff?
Actually, there wasn't much difference. Game one was another game one. We felt like it was important. We felt like it was a game that we could have won and a game that we really wanted to win. But honestly, it wasn't that different. I felt like every series you kind of have those jitters of that first game. So for me, it was about the same.
You guys have responded really well to this situation. What is it about that locker room that has kind of equipped this team to learn from mistakes, to learn from adversity kind of on the fly?
I think it's IQ. I think it's character. I think it's going through things in the postseason or during the season for us to kind of get to this point and make adjustments. I also think it's playing against different teams in the playoffs. Miami was different from Brooklyn, and Brooklyn was different from Atlanta. So we have a lot of references to go back to.
Okay, 2 more questions, Jeff.
Drew, the other night after the Atlanta game, you said that you would expect Giannis to be back on the court at some point. Did you anticipate it would be game one, and how do you find out? When do you learn that he's going to play?
I forget the first question, but how did I find out? They said he was in the lineup. We went through shoot around like he was going to be in the lineup, and that's obviously great for us. I'm super excited about that, knowing that he's healthy and well, but also knowing that we have a best player back.
Final question to Eric. Go ahead.
Drew, a couple months ago, you were telling us about how Dante is like your favorite player on the team. Does this feel like kind of like the first time with both those guards that they have that you guys might have like another quick guard that can navigate screens and do all those things?
For sure. I guess I wouldn't say this is the first time. We had Atlanta where they had a great young guards. We had Brooklyn where they had a lot of good guards. But yeah, I'd love to have him here in the finals. Not on the scooter, but on the court, and again, my running mate, locking people up and then grabbing rebounds like he does.
Thank you.
Drew Holiday after a 10.9 assist game one in his first finals, and it's easy to look at the shooting totals and say, well, he didn't play well because he didn't shoot well, and that's the case for most of the night. But by switching so much, they also took away some of his effectiveness as a defender. How can he impact game two and the rest of the series, Zeke?
Well, we saw how he can impact, a game and also a series with his defensive abilities. And he and Klay Thompson, they're the best on-ball defenders in the NBA when Klay is healthy. And not using Drew against, Chris Paul, or Devin Booker, really you're not using his best asset, because, you're playing against, 2 all-star guards in terms of Paul and Booker, guys that can get their shot off the dribble. And, when you don't use Holiday against Paul, when Paul is hot like he was tonight, you're really not using him to his best abilities and to his maximum. And I'm sure in game two they'll make that adjustment, Smitty.
Yeah, I think so. I think you got to have him try to get over screens, and you hold until he gets back, maybe trap sometime. I think also for Brook Lopez, he did a better job in the Atlanta series against Trey. He can get up, doesn't have to drop all the way, but I never want Brook Lopez to just flat out switch.
Yeah.
That would probably be the last thing I want, unless it was in the clock situation. Well, maybe not even then. One thing you want is Drew Holiday and P.J. Tucker, they can fight through screens. Chris Middleton is big enough to try to get through screens. Yeah. They have to do that, and sometimes there's nothing wrong with old school trapping and pick and roll, getting the ball out of the best player's hand and letting somebody else maybe beat you from they're not comfortable taking that many shots.
Yeah. You can't just let the Suns dictate who their defender is going to be the rest of the series. That's not a winning formula for Milwaukee, and surely they'll make the switch, do something different, as Drew Holiday suggested after game one. Devin Booker will join us. In fact, let's not go to break at all. Let's go right to Devin Booker. No, he's not here yet. Devin is here. Devin is not here.
Devin, where you at, baby?
Devin's not here.
Where y'all at?
Devin's not here, but he's coming. He's coming shortly. So soon, in fact, we decided not to go to break. Shaq, these young guys for the Phoenix Suns, Cameron Johnson knocking down a couple threes. All right, Shaq, never mind. I'm gonna come to you in a minute. Let's go to Devin Booker, as promised. He is on the headset, looking sharp in all black tonight, and looking sharp on the floor as well. Devin, 12 points in the first quarter, for someone who shoots it as well as you, how important was it for you to get to the free throw line and knock down 6 free throws in 6 attempts to get yourself going in your first finals experience?
Yeah, kind of what you just said. Just trying to get it going, try to assert myself into the game in an aggressive way. They have a really good team defense over there, with Drew Holiday and P.J. Tucker. So, I just wanted to assert myself early. And, the guys set me up, setting screens for me, made it a lot easier.
Devin, Steve Smith, I've been watching you play for so long. Just watching right now in your first finals, the way you're being able to assess the defenders right now much quickly. You have Brook Lopez. It seems like you understand what you want to do. It seems like now you've always been a scorer, but now you're basically like a doctor of surgery, doing surgery on most of those guys, being able to quickly assess how you want to score against guys.
Yeah, it's not only myself, it's the spacing. We scout these teams. We watch a lot of basketball together, whether it's film with the team or it's just the players by ourselves. We watch a little basketball, and we try to keep that space, and we understand that they were going to switch a lot tonight. So they started off switching 1 through 5, and me and Chris, being the primary ball handlers, we had to make plays for everybody. So, not only score the ball, but make plays for other people.
Devin, first of all, I want to compliment you on your dress tonight.
I appreciate that.
You look sharp, brother. As my mom would say, you cleaner than the Board of Health tonight.
All right, I appreciate that.
But back to game one and back to your game.
Mm-hmm.
As Smitty talked about, your surgical, display in terms of the way you approach the game.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just talk a little bit in terms of your growth and your maturity over the last couple of years, and what you've learned as a player, and how patient and how surgical you become as a player, and then being able to apply that and keep your emotions under control in the game one final?
Yeah, I think just seeing every situation. We've been the laughingstock of the league for 5 years since I've been here now, and I always tell people I wouldn't want the journey or the process to be any other way. I was fortunate enough to be a young player that was thrown into the fire, got the chance to play through mistakes, seeing double teams every night, seeing every type of defense. So, now I feel like I've been there before, I've experienced it, and back to just watching the game and loving the game. I've always been a fan. Having a father in my bloodline that played the game, has been the blueprint for success for me. So just taking it day by day and trying to get better every day, the constant pursuit to get better, and, forming this culture that we have now, under Coach Monty, and bringing Chris and Jay in here, some grit, some toughness, DeAndre stepping it up, and everybody. I go down the whole list. I'm proud of everybody, and, we're just getting better, but, we still have some work to do.
Hey, Devin, this is Kenny here. Great game tonight. The question I have is, scoring is easy for you. So how do you decide how to get others involved? I always felt that great scorers have that mentality but I could get my shot. Why am I giving it up right now? So when do you decide, and how do you decide?
It's a balance. It's a balance that you have to find, and, there's a rhythm and a pace to the game. Usually I try to make the right play down the court every time, but sometimes I'm over aggressive. I go through a spurt, 3-4 minutes where, I try to get it going, understanding, make or miss, finding your rhythm. It's a rhythm sport. That's really important. Just having teammates that trust me, teammates that tell me to go get a bucket. Chris Paul yelling in my ear, get to your spot. Nobody can guard you. So, just having that, getting confidence from my teammates, getting confidence from Coach Monty, to go out there and just be able to play your game without thinking about too much of the other stuff.
Devin, Shaq here. 3 things. First of all, congratulations. Second of all, I like that old school you pulled up in sitting on them gold Daytons.
I appreciate
really like
that.
And third, as a scorer at this point in the season, the finals, do you say to yourself, okay, I know I'm a prolific scorer. I need to average this to ensure that we win an NBA title?
No, sir. No, sir. Not with this team. Any given night can be anybody. We space the floor. We have a dominant big in DeAndre. We have shooters in Jay Crowder, Mikal, and it's just a starting lineup. So, I see a lot of junk defenses, and those guys will make you pay. And teams understand that, so that opens up a lot of opportunities for myself. And on the other end, I'm trying to open up opportunities for them.
Hey, Devin, I just want to ask you one question, and I hope it makes you laugh. You got the perfect jump shot. Okay, when you first saw Cameron Payne shoot his, what did you think?
Yeah, that's one of them ones. That's one of them ones for real. You know, James Jones did his thing with Cam because I didn't watch him much at North Carolina, but his first day in the practice arena, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's going in every time. And he does. He's going to be a career 40% shooter. You can put that down right now.
But that's all I had. That was my question.
Yeah,
that
that's
was my
beautiful.
Question
That's beautiful shot right there. Quick, too.
And if
He
you want
keeps
to
it up.
sell that old school, brother, just let me know.
No, Shaq, I'm first. I'm first, Shaq.
Shaq, okay, we can talk some big money then.
Well, I'm out
if
now.
Shaq's in on it. Okay.
Well, I'm out now.
And I'm not even in the conversation. I know that. Hey,
I got a few of them with Shaq. I can't go in the bidding war with Shaq.
27 points and a win. That's a pretty good start to your NBA Finals career. Congrats, and hope to talk to you soon. Continued good luck.
Hey, fellas, appreciate the time, man.
Yep. All right, Devin Booker with us as the Suns win at 118-105. We try to broker car deals here on the show.
I used to drive my 62 Pontiac Bonneville to the games in Miami.
Is that what he rode up
I love it. It's cold.
He's got a bunch of cool cars. This is how he arrives.
Is that a 62? I think that's a 62.
Like a 62.
Yeah.
Matt, can I ask a question to the panel?
We're going to school.
All right. Let's do that.
Bucket, and he finishes with 32 on 12 of 19 shooting as we take a look at the Kaiser Permanente shot chart, doing it from all over. And really, that shot chart should include a lot of Brook Lopez's outlines on the floor where he was victimized.
Yeah, cut out of Brook.
Let's hear from CP3.
Chris, Mark Martini, USA Today. Monty was praising you and Devin and DeAndre for having a lot of talks about just what that dynamic will be from a chemistry standpoint. What did those discussions throughout the season entail? What do you think it's taken to get to this point?
It's been a lot. It was some tough ones. DA couldn't have said it better. You know, sometimes, people take it as arguing or whatnot, but I think it was all constructive. Talking about pace. They've been on me about getting the ball up the floor faster, talking to DA about the angles of the screens. And you see, as the season goes on, how much that stuff is important, about hitting the bottom, getting out, making yourself open. And I could show you play after play where it helped tonight.
Chris in the back right.
Chris Haynes, Yahoo Sports. Chris, can you talk about the first 5 or 6 minutes for you? It seemed like it took a little bit to kind of settle in, and you took off. When did it start to click, and what were you feeling in those initial minutes?
I just missed. It's my first couple shots. You know what I mean? I think that's the way that we play. Book got it going. I think Book had 12 in the first quarter, and that's just the way our team is. It's not just one guy that we depend on. Kale could get going. Jay might be hot. DA might have it going, and we just feed off of each other, and it's sort of just all game long, this guy, that guy, and we just try to find a way to win.
Brian, over here on the left side.
Hey, Chris. Obviously, we know you waited a long time, but the fans here waited a long time to see the Suns playing the finals again. Did you get to kind of just, notice how much they were taking in this whole scene and how much they were enjoying what you guys were doing out there today?
Not really. Not really. Probably maybe initially when we run out for warm-ups, but I'm just so locked into the game. I ain't really paying attention to much, just trying to stay in the moment. It got crazy loud during one of those timeouts, but it's exciting, and that's one win, and I think I'm just focused on the task at hand.
Dwayne in the front.
Yes, Dwayne Rankin, Arizona Republic. Chris, the pick and roll tonight with you and DeAndre, and then Devin getting involved in the pick and roll. What were you guys seeing tonight that led it to just seemingly flowing and getting buckets seemingly every time you guys went to it?
We play a lot of basketball, so we sort of know. I was watching them soccer games today, which was crazy. I watched that hockey game last night, and I'm watching that like, damn, how do you know to pass it there? And, and they probably think the same thing with us, but we do this so often, and we've seen just about every coverage you could possibly see, so it's second nature. And I think our coaches, the way they've prepared us since training camp, day in and day out, it seems repetitive to some, but for us, it's necessary. So,
Follow on top, you're talking about pace. You guys had 20 points in transition. As far as pushing it, Mikal, is that just an automatic when he's ahead to get it to him?
Yeah, they be on me bad about that, especially Willie Green. Willie was my teammate. Willie always said that I held on to the ball too long. You know what I mean? But it's, like I said, constructive criticism. In that Clipper game, the closeout game, Willie came and said we need to get the ball over half court with 20 seconds. So I'm trying to make a conscious effort of making sure we playing with the right pace.
Ramona and then Gina to Zoom.
Chris, Ramona Shelburne, ESPN. Adam Silver gave his press conference that he always does at the finals before the game, and he said it's kind of poetic justice that you and him were on the phone so much last year, from March till whenever the bubble started, and then now all of a sudden you're here. I mean, I don't know if you've ever put all that in perspective of all the things you did to keep the league going, and now you've ended up yourself here in the finals. But how do you sit with that?
Not
statement?
too often. I mean, I'm just like everybody else. I got those memories that come up on my phone and show you where you were like a year ago. Dooley, Abdul Nader came up to me in the locker room before the game. He was like, "See, a year ago today, we left to go to the bubble." So it's amazing to think all the things that's taken place since then. But I'm grateful for where I am now, and happy to have this opportunity.
Gina Mizell, Suns.com. Chris, Monty shared before the game that the message around the facility on all the screens was just go hoop. Yeah, I mean, just when the message is that simple, where it's not like, here's a tactical game plan thing, like just go out and play. Like, how much does that put a team at ease just to trust what you've done to get here and just, hey, go out and play?
I think it's really good for our team because I've said it all season long. One thing that we're going to be is prepared. We're going to be prepared for every game. So, we always talk about, when preparation meets opportunity. So, shoot around. Coach said, go hoop. Y'all know what to do.
Palmer on Zoom.
Next up is going to be Brendan Clean with Locked On Suns.
Hey, Chris. I'm curious with the way that you guys were able to kind of have a solution to a lot of the defenses that you saw them throw at you today. How much of that was scripted versus you guys just reading and reacting to what they were doing?
Combination of both. Like I said, we play a lot of basketball, watch a lot, and our coaches told us all the different things to be prepared for. We played against these guys twice. We prepared for Giannis or not Giannis, so we're sure they're going to make some adjustments going in the game too, and we'll probably do the same.
Final question is Kent Somers with the Arizona Republic.
After your voice and many others in DA's ears throughout the year, what are you most proud of the way he's played this postseason?
Sitting in the back during DA's press conference just now, just hearing him talk, just seeing maturity in him, not only as a basketball player but as a person. Everybody doesn't get a chance to know him off the court, but he has the biggest heart. One of the best guys you'll ever meet. So the success and the recognition that he's getting right now is well deserved, and I couldn't be happier for another guy on our team. Not even you, Book. Yep.
All right, thank you, Chris.
There's Chris Paul, third player 36 years or older to score 30 in an NBA Finals game, and the first with 30 points and at least 8 assists in a Finals debut since Michael Jordan. I want to go back to Shaq because Shaq had a question for the panel, and we didn't give him a chance to ask it. What do you got for us?
Steve Isaiah Kenny, I asked Devin Booker, as a prolific scorer, does he go into the game at this point in the season saying, I need to average this amount of points? Because, from watching guys like you, Isaiah, and all the other greats, I saw that when you came into the playoffs, the PPG had to raise at least 3 to 5 points. But then if you made it to the finals, you had to average more. So my mindset was always, if I ever got back to the finals, I had to average 40. I was surprised by his answer. Were you guys surprised by his answer?
I would say yes, I was surprised, but not really, because this is his first time, to the plate. And Shaq, I always came into the game saying, okay, I got to account for 40 points, whether that be, scoring and assisting. a combination of every night I wanted to see 40-plus points on the stat sheet from myself, contributing to the game. Because if I can get 40, then we can count on somebody else, to contribute the other 60 to get us to 100-plus.
I wasn't surprised only because he's a guy who knows he's going to get his shots. So, if there's I think guys who don't get as many opportunities might say, I got to make sure I take 10 shots. I used to say, for me, it was that because it didn't go through me at times. So I was like, no, I got to make sure I'm aggressive and get more shots up. And I got to make sure. So for a guy who's getting those shots, I don't think he had a problem. And we talked to him a lot about Shaq, about how much Chris Paul dominated in third. But I started counting the switch and pick and rolls when Devin Booker was getting it in the first quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And Zeke and Smitty, they went 9 out of 11 in the first half when they switched. Yep. 9 baskets out of 11. I wasn't counting the third quarter with Chris. Then that happened. So, for me, I just think that it's important. Of a guy like that, Shaq, he's going to get his. Smitty, what you think?
Well, I think you're right, Kenny. I think he knows he's going to get his. And I think from a two-guard standpoint, my mindset was how many double teams I'm going to be able to draw. Mm-hmm. How many times I'm going to be able to get to the free throw line and be able to get my teammates into the bonus. I kind of had the mentality of Shaq and Hakeem Olajuwon because not being athletic, I started playing on the block. I mean, and watching bigs, I said, if I can draw a double, that means somebody else is going to get an easy shot, and then it'll come back around for me in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Because if you can draw a double as a two-guard down on the block, it's going to get everybody in the rotation. So that was my mindset. How many double teams can I have you getting down on the block?
You had the right mindset, and you did it.
And Shaq, you didn't ask me, which I understand, but we talked to Devin Booker about getting to the free throw line in the first quarter. I thought he took advantage of those matchups and really hunted fouls early in the game, which is an incredibly smart strategy for someone in his first NBA Finals game. And obviously it worked for Booker and the Suns. All right, more coming up here. We haven't heard from Giannis Antetokounmpo yet. We will when we come back. How's he feeling after Game 1?
Can you just kind of take me through the last week and what this was like to get back to this place?
Yeah, it was tough. Obviously I had to, do my best to get back. Yeah, I had to do my best to get back. Listen to my medical staff. I did the right treatment, took care of my body, and supported my teammates. And now I'm back.
Just how did it feel tonight? And then specifically, I wanted to ask you, in the third quarter, there's a spot where Jay Crowder pulls back on a three. It looked like you grabbed at your knee a little bit after that. What were you going through in that moment? And then just overall, what did it feel like?
Felt great. Obviously I'm trying not to make it about me, but felt great. The medical staff cleared me to play. Out there I had my balance. Felt my knee was stable. Did not feel pain, so I felt good. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I felt good.
Go ahead, Jeff.
You just told Eric that you had lots of discussions throughout the week, but what was the rehab process? Was it grueling? Was it time consuming? How many hours were you spending a day trying to get that knee ready?
24. From my treatment, from lifting, from getting on the court, pull sessions, keeping my foot elevated, 24 hours a day. And obviously it wasn't easy, but I was willing to do it. And I think the medical staff had a great program for me that I was able to do what I have to do to stay in shape, and at the same time recover and not have a lot of swelling in my knee. And I was declared me to play. I felt good. My knee, I feel no pain. The swelling was down, so I was like, okay, good to go. All right.
I don't think we believe you about the pain thing, but I wondered if you
Why?
saw, because we know you. But it's okay, I understand. But I wondered if you saw the video of your injury?
No.
No, it makes sense. And then the wrap that you had, did that hinder your range of motion at all? I mean, you were pretty wrapped up on the knee.
No. I'm trying my best here to, not make it about my knee, but I'm going to say one more time that my knee felt good. Obviously, you when you go and play a game, you never know what's going to happen. A play with Jay Crowder might happen, or the same play that happened that line. You don't know what's going to happen. I'm just happy that I'm out there, and I'm able to, help my teammate in any way possible. And participate in NBA Finals, my first NBA Finals. So I'm just, try to, put my attention in that and not in, if my knee hurts, if I feel, At the end of the day, I'm out there. I feel good. I don't feel pain. I can run, I can jump, I can set screens, I can rebound the ball, I can do stuff. So I'm good, I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm out there. At the end of the day, I haven't watched the clip, but when the play happened, I thought I'm going to be out for a year, So I'm just happy that two games later, I'm back.
Mark
Spears, ESPN's Undefeated. At this point, this trend of them chanting towards you when you're at the line still hasn't come to an end. Is it bothersome? Do you hear it? And at this point, what do you even think about it?
No, it hasn't come to an end, but I think it's something that's going to follow me for the rest of my career. So I just got to embrace it and have fun with it. But at the end of the day, I'm just focusing on my routine, my technique, and my body. And as I said, he probably is not going to stop. So I just got to learn how, learn to live with it. Of course not. 20,000 people yelling 1, 2, 3, 4. It's that notice it. But as I said, I've learned to embrace it. I know it's not gonna stop. And at the end of the day, when it keeps going, it's it fades away. There's times that, the first free throw I hit it, but in the fifth one, sixth one, I'm not hitting it no more, and I'm just focusing on what I gotta do and my routine.
Jim, go ahead, please.
Giannis' sense of humor is intact, and apparently he's physically okay as well, and that's great news for the Bucks moving forward. Nearing 10 o'clock here in Phoenix, which means the temperature's down to 100. Our post-game coverage continues.
I'm going to the
here.
pool, man.